Good afternoon, everyone, from the Xcel Energy Center. It's a cold, blustery day outside, but very warm and cozy inside as we get ready for our continuing coverage of Minnesota State High School League Volleyball, celebrating its 40th anniversary at the state tournament. Mike Peden here with Minneapolis-Washburn veteran Chase Coley. We've got the Class 2A third place match coming up between the Fergus Falls Otters and the Kasson-Mantorville Comets. And Chase, you had a chance to see both teams yesterday in action. Fergus Falls lost to Marshall. Kasson-Mantorville lost a close one with Hill Murray. Coming into this bronze medal match, what do you think we'll see?
Well, yesterday Fergus Falls didn't seem to be themselves, but Kasson-Mantorville did have a close game yesterday. Tough loss, come out of that. They got to come out strong if they want to make a mark in this game. Fergus Falls, we saw them play good 2 games ago. They were pretty upbeat, but the game yesterday, they weren't themselves, it didn't seem. They didn't have as much energy as they normally do, but we hope to see the upbeat team that we saw a couple games ago. And
part of that was probably having to face that very poised and tight-knit group in Marshall, a team that's been here for 13 consecutive years.
Yeah, they looked very cool and calm out there, like they knew what they wanted to do. They went out there and they got it done.
And you'll be seeing them later this afternoon as they take on Hill Murray in a rematch from a regular season meeting. That will take place at about 3 p.m. or 30 minutes after the conclusion of this match, whichever comes first. Players to watch for Fergus Falls. You know a couple of them actually from your other athletic exploits. Brianna Rasmussen and Anna Monkey are your 2 primary options on offense. And the interesting thing about those 2 players is Rasmussen, she can attack, but she can also set up pretty well too. She had 23 assists in the win over Belle Plaine, 14 against Marshall when they were able to get some points off. Kate Grosbeck may also get some assists there for Fergus Falls, so a very versatile player in Brianna Rasmussen. She can not only attack, but she can also set up.
Yeah, Brianna Rasmussen, she's very agile. I think we were talking yesterday about how playing her multiple sports helps her. She's a very good basketball player. She plays point guard for Fergus Falls basketball team. Anna Monkey plays post. They're both very agile players, and they move around the court well, and they also have a very good vision of the court.
Well, and with Rasmussen being a point guard, as we've seen in the sport of basketball, point guards are no longer just players who pass the ball. You need point guards who can score too, with examples like Lindsay Whalen, Becky Hammond. And they're going through introductions right now on court 1, so we'll have the introductions over here in a couple of minutes. But Fergus Falls, it's their first time here, and they're making the most of it. They have a chance to play for bronze.
Yeah, that's very exciting for them, especially this is their first appearance in the state tournament.
And over on Kasson-Mantorville's end, we saw a very strong game from the likes of Brooklyn Lewis
and Haley Bush.
Lewis has a very strong swing. There was a fan yesterday who talked about being on the receiving end of one of those swings and that her face got a shiner for a little while.
Yeah, she had to pay for that one.
But you speak of the Comets. They lost to Hill Murray. You and I were here for that one.
Yeah, very close game. Went to a 5th set.
That was in the semifinal round, and in the quarterfinal round, they swept Maple Lake in straight sets. But you speak of Brooklyn Lewis. She has 36 kills coming into this match. What cost her between the Maple Lake and Hill Murray games was the errors. She had just 5 against Maple Lake, 13 against Hill Murray, and in any sport, mistakes can be critical, and we saw the example of that as Hill Murray won in 5.
Yeah, Brooklyn Lewis, we saw yesterday against Hill Murray. In the first game, she came out very explosive and had a big, strong outside swing, but in the next 2 games kind of eased off of that a little bit. But by the 4th and 5th game, she was back and ready for action. And
you also speak of Haley Bush, who is the other person that sets up on offense. Taylor Miller may also see some action, but Bush has 27 kills, 13 against Maple Lake, 14 against Hill Murray. A little more polish in her game, fewer errors overall, but Kasson-Mantorville has 2 very solid players on offense.
Yeah, Haley Bush has a very strong right arm swing, and she hits from the right side mostly. She also had some pretty good attacks from the back yesterday that Hill Murray just didn't seem to be able to handle.
And their setup person, is going to be Lily Braun. She had 39 assists in the 3-set win over Maple Lake, 35 against Hill Murray. Well, Braun is going to be that passer in those 3-touch possessions for Kasson-Mantorville. So those are your players to watch. And on defense, it's the libero, Corey Kennedy. She came up with 34 digs against Hill Murray.
Oh, yesterday, no one could get any on her. Hill Murray just couldn't get one down. She was everywhere.
And she only had 14, but again, that was a 3-set win over Maple Lake, so not as many points to be played there. But Kennedy is going to be their defensive asset for Kasson-Mantorville. And for Fergus Falls, on their end, they have a good contingent of blockers. Of course, in Marshall, the stats are somewhat misleading because they were dominated yesterday, 25-15, 25-14, 25-7. So not a whole lot of opportunities.
I think what really is going to help Fergus Falls this game if they came out and have the same intensity and energy they had 2 games ago.
But players to keep an eye on as far as the defense goes, Devani Smith, Fergus Falls libero. She's been effective. Jordan Harworth had a few digs in that Bell playing win. So did Laura Gaustad. Those are going to be your players that will try to keep the ball in play for the Otters. And I guess how much does having to wait here while they do the introductions for the Class A championship that's going on right now, does that add to the angst or the anxiety a little bit?
Well, I think it really just depends on the person. I know if that were me down there, I'd be good. I'd be just getting a good feel for the environment I'm in. I'd be just pumped up. You can see down there, they're talking to their teammates. They're just hanging out, waiting to play, excited.
Well, and the difference is, and you got to state tournament, of course, last year for basketball, but there only was one game going on at a time at that site, where here you have 2. So for the folks at Court 2, they've got to chill out for a couple minutes.
Yeah, just chill and wait. Basketball things went by really quickly, but you had to be patient because it was 1 game at a time, like you said.
With the Court 1 introductions complete, we will now take you to the public address announcer for our player introductions.
And the Section 1 champs, the Kasson-Mantorville Comets. Let's meet our teams. We'll begin with the Otters. Starting for the Otters, number 1, 5'11" senior, Brianna Rasmussen. Number 6, 5'8" junior, Amber Bays. Number 8, 5'9" senior, Laura Gaustad. Number 9, 5'11" senior, Kristen Trazer. Number 10, 6' senior, Anna Monkey. Number 14, 5'10" junior, Ashley Reinertson. Libero for the Otters is number 4, Devani Smith. Fergus Falls head coach, Renee Erickson. Assistant coaches are Denny Heisted and Tanya Court, and student manager, Shelby Danielson. And now let's meet the Kasson-Mantorville Comets. Starting for the Comets, number 1, 5'8" junior, Sarah Peterson. Number 2, 5'8" junior, Taylor Webke. Number 3, 5'8" sophomore, Lily Braun. Number 4, 5'11" senior, Brooklyn Lewis. And number 6, 5'11" senior, Haley Bush. Number 10, 5'10" junior, Taylor Miller. Libero for the Comets is number 17, Corey Kennedy. Head coach for Kasson-Mantorville, Larry Hegerly. Assistant coach, Adam Van Ort and Yvonne Van Ort. And student managers are Gabby Matuska and Katie Goodman. Our officials for this match, first referee is Tristan Severson. Second referee, Donna Mundell. Line judges are Lane Pearson and Meredith Holcraft. And now Otters and Comets, let's play volleyball.
With the team introductions complete, we want to remind you that if you wish to order a DVD copy of this and any of our state tournament matches throughout the weekend, just click the Purchase DVD link on the Prep 45 page. And if you wish to engage with us on Twitter, you can do so. I am the Sports Brain. That is all one word, 3 words meshed together, very much like a hashtag. The Sports Brain. We will be happy to read your tweets live on the air. If you have any background information, shout outs, or any feedback you'd like to offer us, we certainly would appreciate it. Our fans have been very engaging throughout this tournament. Fergus Falls wearing the white jerseys for this match, and Kasson-Mantorville will wear the blue. Winner gets the bronze medal, and there's also some all-tournament team implications here, so if one player can get a really strong match going, they might get some recognition when the Class AA tournament is set. We are underway here. Rasmussen is setting up for Monkey, and there's the connection you spoke of to start this game.
Monkey not only has big hits in the middle, but in the quarterfinals, she showed her blocking abilities very well.
And a common formation that worked well in Thursday, not so much yesterday, is when Rasmussen goes back to serve, as you see her doing there, Monkey will be rotated to the middle, and that seems to work out pretty well for those two.
Outside to Lewis. And another big block in the middle, just like in the quarterfinals for Anna Monkey.
Like we said, that formation tends to work out. That was Brooklyn Lewis on the attack, number 4. Lewis down the middle, too high. Lewis, as we said, those hitting errors against Hill Murray, and especially in that last set, there was a couple of late miscues that cost Kasson-Mantorville a shot at Marshall.
Here comes Haley Bush.
And that goes out of bounds. So the issues that plagued Kasson-Mantorville, especially in that 5th set last night that you and I called, they haven't been corrected yet.
This is not a good way for Kasson-Mantorville to start off this game. And there, Kaylin Lewis goes off the block and out of bounds. First point for Kasson-Mantorville.
Brooklyn Lewis on the attack. Lewis coming into this tournament had an insane number of attacks. And
1,024.
And if you factor in the numbers from these 2 tournaments, as you see on the screen, it's 5-1 Fergus Falls. She has 1134.
That was an outside kill for Christian Treiser.
And when you add up her kills, she should get to the 500 mark. She was at 499 coming in this match, and there's another fine serve from Treiser.
For Jordan Hardworth.
Or Hardworth. You've got the better eye today, Chase.
Maybe a little bit. I ate my carrots last night.
Maybe I need to go with that instead of the spinach.
And Haley Bush from the outside, but it is dug up by Brianna Rasmussen.
And number 6 is also there, and it falls for Fergus Falls. That
Laura
was
Gaustad.
Laura Gaustad.
Pushing it off the block.
And I think Amber Boat's got a hand on that attack from Haley Bush. Fergus Falls on a big rally, though. And they're already at that magic number that we spoke of. Point for Fergus Falls because of double contact.
And Kasson-Mantorville calls a timeout.
And as you may know, if you're a volleyball fan, any penalty or any violation gives a point to the opponent in the rally scoring format. And Fergus Falls, we're seeing the team that we saw on Thursday night, at least in the sets where they won.
Yeah, in the quarterfinals, like we said earlier, they had a lot of energy, but yesterday they just couldn't seem to pull that through. But right now it's really showing as they get out in front and jump on Kasson-Mantorville right away with a 8-1 lead.
Fergus Falls, as we mentioned, one of the first-timers in this bracket. Brianna Rasmussen, over 2,000 assists for her career. And she still has a basketball season to play, but I don't think they count those assists.
No.
and over 1,000 career digs. And in the 3A field last year, she was an honorable mention in the All-State category. Fergus Falls dropped down to 2A this year in this sport.
Jordan Harworth back to serve.
Still serving as Fergus Falls continues this run.
And a service error.
And it's a strategy you spoke of last night, icing the server. Often calling a timeout to knock the server off her rhythm.
Just like they do in football.
Although it rarely works in football.
There's Laura Gaustad with the outside hit.
It was dug by Corey Kennedy, but nobody was there to help Kennedy out.
I think there was a miscommunication on the floor.
That ball goes left, and everybody stood still for a moment, and by the time they race over there, it drops. Bit of an oops for the Comets, and
here comes Peterson.
And Harworth is there, but into the Fergus Falls bench. Strong swing by Sarah Peterson. And now we'll see Corey Kennedy, of course, wearing the off-color jersey as the libero. Brought in for defensive specialization.
And a monkey from the right side. Oh, just out of bounds as Corey Kennedy ducks out of the way of that ball.
Brought in for defensive specialization, but as you've alluded to before, they cannot jump over the net, if I'm correct.
No, they have to stay below the plane of the net.
Kennedy serves that one out of bounds. This will be our first look from number 5, Kate Grosbeck on service. Bush. Smith tried to get there, but couldn't quite get there in time on the dive.
Not able to direct that ball to the set. Haley Bush serving for Kasson-Mantorville. Oh, and Brianna Rasmussen is forced to free ball it over.
Miscommunication. Fine dig by Smith, but it goes out of bounds. And you saw how that one slip up in communication in getting the word to each other cost Fergus Falls an attack opportunity, and it gives the Comets a point. That's Gaustad.
Off the block, but they're able to retrieve it. And here comes Haley Bush.
Goes off the net, but still in play. Rasmussen, though, will have to bat it away.
Oh, the double contact. Or two touch, excuse me.
Yes, 2 touches legal. Double contact is not. But the point for Lily Braun, and we saw that last night against Hill Murray. She pulled off a couple of those two-handed moves, the 2-touch possessions, and got a few points out of it.
Brianna Rasmussen with an outside hit. By Corey Kennedy.
Rasmussen has a more traditional approach, just slam it as hard as you can.
Here's Laura Gaustad. Oh, and that one falls.
Finds the hole in the middle. 11-7 the score, as you can see on the screen.
Here comes Christian Treiser back in for Jordan Harworth.
Gaustad serving off the hands of Brooklyn
Lewis.
Off the hands of Lewis. And out of play. We'll see a few more students here today for Kasson-Mantorville. Last night their football team was in the state quarterfinal round, and that often splits up the groups. But since they knew the Comets would be coming back, a few of them made the trip here, and there's a two-handed tap off the high lob, and I believe that was Taylor Miller who put the ball down. But they give the point to Fergus Falls on a double contact. So it's 13-7. Fergus Falls up by 6, and that's a pretty big swing. You're looking from a 4-point to a 6-point margin.
Brianna Rasmussen, hitting air into the net.
And right away she gestured to herself saying, that was my fault. Had the position, but didn't have the placement when she hit the ball and hit the net.
Here comes Christian Treiser with the outside hit, and it's good. Peterson not able to dig that one up.
And with the right-handed hitters, we've talked about this, that favorable spot is on the left side because you can use the antenna as a guide on where to locate your attack. Lewis off the net.
Nice save.
Fergus Falls will go two-touch.
A double contact on Brooklyn Lewis.
And so the two-touch fake works on Fergus Falls' end.
Christian Lewis from the outside and off the block and inbounds. Point goes to Kasson-Mantorville.
I think there was a deflection as well, but a well-placed hit by Brooklyn Lewis, who has a very strong swing.
Treiser right in the deep corner from the middle.
Treiser's been active in the first set. Got a few kills down in the two matches prior to this against Belle Plaine, and of course with Marshall, as we've said, the stats are misleading because there were so few points played. Fergus Falls really didn't have anything impressive.
Brianna Lewis with that big outside hit.
Brooklyn Lewis keeps that in the back line, inside I should say.
And a monkey.
Off the pass from Rasmussen. Rasmussen, the point guard for the basketball team, and very much plays like one here for the volleyball team, doesn't she?
Yes. Controls what's going on the Fergus Falls side.
Harworth serving.
Haley Bush from the outside, and that goes deep.
But Fergus Falls still leads by 8. Harworth. Braun to Lewis. And that connection pays off.
Lewis now serving. She's in the back row. Here comes Gausted. Lewis in the back row. Gausted again.
And Lewis is there for the dig, but not a second time. The high recoil, and Gausted bounces it off of Corey Kennedy. Timeout. Kasson-Mantorville, they trail by 8, 19-11. As Fergus Falls looking to take the first set in this bronze medal match. Your thoughts, Chase?
Fergus Falls definitely looks like a different team than they did yesterday. Yesterday they were sluggish and they just didn't look like themselves, and now they're really pulling together with a 19-11 lead on Kasson-Mantorville right now. I noticed one thing that Kasson-Mantorville had a lot yesterday was service errors and just little turnovers and mistakes, and they're cutting them down from yesterday, but still they really need to clean that up if they want to come back and get back in this game with Fergus Falls.
They had a total of 29 errors on the attack, fewer than Hill Murray. So they were more efficient as far as attack percentage was concerned. But could not get it done. And again, Brooklyn Lewis was charged with a few more hitting errors than her first game.
Devonnie Smith serving for Fergus Falls.
The team's libero. High recoil, and Gausted.
Down by Laura Gausted.
She seems to enjoy bouncing it off the heads or any body part of one of the Kasson-Mantorville players. That time she decked it off Lily Braun.
Peterson from the outside.
Smith, but the high recoil, and good eye by Smith as Peterson tried to return that. It was the right idea, but she bets it past the corner and out of play. And they're going to get the deflection. No, it was ruled in bounds, but in any case, that's a set up from Braun to Wibke. Taylor Wibke, who goes to the bench as they rotate. Corey Kennedy back to serve. She had a few miscues on the service game yesterday.
And a monkey from the right side.
And I think, was that touched? Yes. Lily Braun got a hand on it. What really intrigues me about that Hill-Murray semifinal is how even the numbers were. And when you look at the points scored, it kind of played out that way. How about that serve from number 5, Kate Grosbeck?
Off the arms of Brooklyn Lewis.
Braun will set up for Bush. Smith with the high dig, but it goes out of bounds. (23-13) though the score. Fergus Falls with a comfortable lead here as they get ready to close out the first set.
Rasmussen from the outside, and it goes down.
When she's in the wind-up mode, you know where that's going. And I'll give you a hint if you don't have the idea. It's in a place where Kasson-Mantorville can't return it. Fergus Falls fans waiting.
A tip in the middle, but blocked by Brianna Rasmussen.
They're standing in anticipation.
Another block by Brianna Rasmussen in the middle.
Grosbeck with the dig, but Peterson with the kill. Fergus Falls still has 10 set points though.
How was that saved? Rasmussen in the middle. Oh, but she's blocked.
That was Brooklyn Lewis.
And Taylor Miller.
That was a good effort, though, as you said, to save it on that last possession. And there are some pretty good athletes out here. Rasmussen with the drop, the teardrop, and it's a reigning victory for Fergus Falls, at least in the first set. They take it 25-15. Quite the turnaround from Fergus Falls. They certainly put that Marshall game out of their memories if they were even thinking about it coming into this.
Kasson-Mantorville really needs to step up their game right now if they want to take this second set and continue on. There's going to be at least 2 more sets in this game.
Fergus Falls, who won that first set, 8 seniors on the team. Brianna Rasmussen will be playing Division I at North Dakota State. And Anna Monkey will be playing at Minnesota Duluth. And you, of course, had a chance to play with those two in your summer league teams. And how have they been so pivotal for Fergus Falls in this tournament?
They're just great athletes, and they really have been making big plays for them. And it's just really exciting to watch.
And some other state tournament participants in that group. Jordan Harworth was in the state softball tournament last year. And Rasmussen also in the track meets as a jumper and a sprinter.
Yeah, these are just some really versatile athletes they have out here. And like we were saying yesterday, that really helps them just see the court better and get a feel and use skills they've learned from their other sports and transfer it into volleyball right now.
And that's what you alluded to over these last couple of days with the recent discussions about the increase in specialization from athletes who invest their resources in one sport, whereas a generation ago, just about everybody played 3 sports. And you're still in that camp of playing as many sports as possible. And talking yesterday, it seemed like there the only way we could find sports you didn't play was to go into the obscure Olympic sports.
Yeah, I've dipped my toes in a little bit of everything, thanks to my parents.
But how do you think that helped you? Well, we've talked about this before, but for some new viewers, and it seems that the multi-sport approach
well, I know
has its benefits.
It was just a really good experience, I know, but it was also, I think it was good because like then you don't get bored doing one sport. You get to try, you get a break from each thing, and you're still staying active, so it's not like you're getting out of shape from not doing one sport. You just keep going, and you meet new people, you make new friends, just great experiences all around.
And that's the concern that some older folks have about those who specialize and play in one sport. It seems like 11 months out of the year is burnout, because all you're doing is playing the same game over and over. Well, here you get to wear your floor burns as a badge of pride, and then in the winter you get to put on the more comfortable jerseys.
Yep, your big loose basketball shorts.
As opposed to the spandex that the volleyball players wear. And but there you don't have to dive so much. I'm sure your knees appreciate it.
A little bit.
But
well, if you hustle, you're on the ground still.
That's true. But you get a chance to experience a lot of different sports, and in some cases, that's how a lot of athletes get their state tournaments.
Tries her with the kill from the right side off the arms of Lily Braun.
And one example is a couple of examples that come to mind is Taylor Reese, who was won a couple of third-place trophies for Minnesota in volleyball, but won the state basketball tournament last year for Class A, and Brittany Chambers, who went to a basketball scholarship with Kansas State, but she won her state tournaments through volleyball as Taylor Miller gets on the board.
Yeah, both very versatile athletes.
And that's not to say those who choose to specialize don't succeed. Rebecca Dahlman from Bram is one. Taylor Hill from Minneapolis South. I wonder where she ended up.
Oh, in the WNBA.
That was a joke. But you're right about that. Getting the kill for Fergus Falls is Laura Gaustad. An old colleague of mine who actually was an assistant principal when I was at St. Paul Harding, he mentioned this in one broadcast, and I still remember that quote well. He said, "Do it all, you're only in high school one time." So he was a big proponent of participating as much as you could.
Haley Bush from the back row, but Anna Monkey's be able to get up at the net and tip it out of bounds off the hands of one of the Comets.
Fergus Falls getting the jump here.
Devontae Smith serving for Fergus Falls.
Bush into the net. Devontae Smith gets the ball in motion. Here's Braun, who will set up for Bush. Smith with the dig. Rasmussen gets under there, and Fergus Falls will complete the save. Braun, two-touch again. That seems to be a patented move. She might want to consider applying for one. You never know when it's coming, but when she pulls it off, it usually works out to great effect.
Yes, it does.
And how about that move by Gaustad going cross court? That jammed up Braun, who touched the net there. Kate Grosbeck now. Braun will set up for Miller. Teardrop doesn't fall. Rasmussen will go to Gaustad. Nice defensive effort by...
And a big block in the middle by Brianna Rasmussen.
Well, it was a nice defensive effort by Kasson-Mantorville off of that Gaustad hit, but put Brianna Rasmussen up front. It's not looking pretty for you. Service
right
ace.
On the line.
Kasson-Mantorville let that one go, and it's that eye judgment call. Sometimes it burns you, sometimes it helps you.
Here comes Lewis from the outside.
And the assist to Braun.
She puts that one away.
Like we said yesterday, you do not want to be in the direction of a Brooklyn Lewis Hart swing.
No, you do not.
Gaustad. That will go into the curtain, and a point for the Otters.
Off of Haley Bush's arms, and no one's able to retrieve it. Here comes Treiser back in the front row for Fergus Falls. Last game, Treiser made a lot of big plays for Fergus Falls, really helped them pull that one out.
And Gaustad with a service error. Lily Braun now in the service position, so won't be available to set up the passes like she was able to before. Although they're going to go deep with Brooklyn Lewis. Rasmussen with the block. Kasson-Mantorville with the save, but a free ball for the Otters. It's Treiser.
Down the line, but Corey Kennedy's able to pick that up.
And Devani Smith digs that attack from Brooklyn Lewis. Then the teardrop for Treiser, number 9, Kristen Treiser. Treiser, a 5'11" senior, and we're seeing similar trends here to the first set, Chase. Fergus Falls just more opportunistic with their opportunities, and a timeout is called. And while we're at this timeout, once more, if you wish to interact with us on Twitter, just hit us up. I am the Sports Brain. That is my handle, and we'll be happy to share your tweets on air and any other notes you'd like to share with us. But we also want to acknowledge our crew who is here today, coming from St. Charles High School, helping out here in the production of the championship webcasts. And you have a connection to St. Charles, if I'm correct.
Yes, my grandparents lived there. My mother grew up there, and she was runner-up for Miss Basketball. But that was a few years ago.
1982, if my memory serves correctly. I was 5 years from existence at that point. That's how long ago it was. So how'd she miss out on that award, though? You get runner-up? What happened there?
Lost to Amy Adamczak.
And your grandparents are still involved in the basketball program?
Oh, my grandpa coached my mom there at St. Charles High School, and now he volunteers as an assistant coach and just helps the girls out, and I know they all really like him there.
Could you imagine playing them in a state tournament setting?
Well, that'd be fun.
How about that? Do you think Brooklyn Lewis had fun with that swing?
A little bit.
Treiser, that was deflected. And Lewis has to bat it over deep. Rasmussen on the slide move, gets the deflection. Kind of did look like the volleyball equivalent of a pick and roll almost. Went behind her passer and then came up from behind to swoop it down.
Yeah, that was a slide attack. It really throws off the blockers.
Bush from deep. Rasmussen this time will set up for Monkey. That is blocked, but over and out of bounds. It feels really strange to be in the middle of this production crew. I'm hearing so many voices. Or it could just be my head. Monkey
with the tip right in the corner.
Monkey voicing her talent via that lob. And Fergus Falls goes back up by 5. 11-6. They have a 1-set lead in the bronze medal match in Class 2A. Chase and I will be here for the championship match coming up soon between Hill Murray and Marshall.
Right side, back row to Kaylee Bush.
And Smith was ready for it. Rasmussen will set up to Monkey. Goodbye. Just a hunch, but I've got a feeling those two have played with each other for a while.
Maybe just a little bit. Jordan Harworth back to serve.
Miller to Bush. This time it falls. And in the case of Rasmussen, unfortunately, she's graduating for Fergus Falls, but she's the rare kind of player who can set up an attack in volleyball, and that seems to be a treasure commodity at this sport.
Yeah, your setter is a very important player. If you don't have a good set, then it's much harder to get kills.
Sarah Peterson wanted the deflection, but the officials say no. Well, and you see a lot of one-dimensional role players in volleyball, and that doesn't make them inferior. It's a six-player sport, so you don't have to do everything, but usually you have one or two attackers and maybe a setup person, and in the case of Rasmussen, you've got one player who can do both.
Just like in many other sports, it's good to have players that can really move around, like really versatile players, like someone who can, like for example in basketball, go play in the post but still have the skills to shoot on the outside. Just like in volleyball, Brianna Rasmussen has the ability to set but also step in and hit the ball, as well as passing.
And Rasmussen gets the save there. Bush hit it into the net on that last point, and Taylor Miller with a hitting error. Double contact was the call, but it's another mistake for Kasson-Mantorville. Again, this is what cost them in set 5 last night with Hill Murray. Bush finds the middle.
Brooklyn Lewis coming back in for the Comets. Sarah Peterson back to serve.
Rasmussen to Gaustad.
On the line.
But out of bounds.
Oh.
Or off the antenna.
My eyes deceived me.
Mine did too, but it was on the near end to where we are, and can be tough to tell sometimes. Rasmussen to Monkey. That's deflected, and Lewis will set up to Braun. Well, that's unusual. It's a reverse of what we normally see out of Kasson-Mantorville, and apparently going backwards pays off. They go forwards by backtracking. Rasmussen to Gaustad again. She goes cross court, and Miller can't handle that clean. I should say Braun. She could not handle that cleanly, and Fergus Falls gets the point back.
Grosbeck serving.
Of course, it's a big weekend in sports as volleyball wraps up, and we make that transition to the winter sports. College basketball underway today, and we know the high school season is coming up. Lewis was dug. Gaustad. Kennedy is there, but a free ball coming for Fergus Falls. Rasmussen will go to Gaustad again. Lewis was there for the dig. Bush from the back row, too strong.
Kasson-Mantorville really seems to be struggling right now. Score is Fergus Falls 17, Kasson-Mantorville 10.
They've struggled throughout the match.
It's never really been a close back and forth game. It's usually Fergus Falls gets out on top and Kasson-Mantorville fights to get back in it.
And part of it has to do with the errors on Kasson-Mantorville.
The hitting errors, the service errors.
And Devonnie Smith couldn't get under that one cleanly. Fergus Falls has to let that one go. Grosbeck behind the back, and Gaustad hits that in the net. Miller serving, and here's Rasmussen on the attack. Gets the deflection. She can do more than just pass, in case you forgot.
Just a little more.
But just a clean game overall from Fergus Falls. There haven't been too many things you could really point to as far as issues. They played a very methodical, a very solid game, and that's why they've been dominant in these first 2 sets.
Lewis from the back row.
Picked up by Grosbeck. Here's Treiser. And Peterson was there for the dig, but a free ball. Grosbeck to Treiser. That was Bush with the save. And Treiser has to one-hand it over, and this could get ugly, and it is. Brooklyn Lewis was not in position. Tried to race under there, could not, and that doomed the play for Kasson-Mantorville.
Gausted serving for Fergus Falls.
Miller to Lewis. Ooh, off speed, and it pays off.
Shot in the middle.
I was expecting a hard swing, and she was leaping up. I think everybody was, and fooled him with the off-speed pitch.
She's tricky.
Do you have that in your arsenal?
Sometimes.
Although you said you preferred to swing it hard.
Yeah, just wind up and go.
Gaustad, that bounced off the net and out of bounds. That was Treiser, I should say, on the hitting error.
Lily Braun with the serve.
Rasmussen to Treiser, into the net.
That's 2 hitting errors in a row for Treiser.
And Kasson-Mantorville down by 4. And so as much as Fergus Falls has performed well in the second set, the Comets are only trailing by 4 and a couple of hitting errors. Give the Comets perhaps that mojo.
Yeah, Fergus Falls calls a timeout to calm their nerves and just talk about what they need to do to get back on top.
Kasson-Mantorville before this year had a 9-year drought between state tournament appearances. 2004 was the last time they appeared. And Brooklyn Lewis is headed to Concordia St. Paul, the Division II powerhouse, not too far from here on Marshall Avenue, near the St. Paul Central campus. Concordia St. Paul has won the last 6 NCAA Division II championships in volleyball.
Wow.
How about that for dominance?
That would be pretty dominant, I'd say.
I think that's the definition of a dynasty. We have plenty of them here in high school.
Kasson-Mantorville only trails by 4.
Thanks to those pair of hitting errors from Treiser, trying to extend this match. Rasmussen, double contact. Another mistake on Fergus Falls, and it's a 3-point game, and the Comets, as far as psychologically speaking, well, they were in it.
Error by Lily Braun.
They were in it, and they may have gotten themselves out of it. We'll see what happens, but that 1960 mark seemed to be the opportunity to psychologically work their way back up, and that service error is not going to help them out.
No, it is not.
Number 15, Brooklyn Seelan serving for the Otters, and that is blocked, but out of bounds. Rasmussen got there, but not in time. And Seelan goes out quickly. And in comes Devani Smith. Brooklyn Lewis serving. Treiser gets it off Brooklyn Lewis. And if you think the two Brooklyns make for an intriguing name trend, I researched this last night. The most common name of this tournament is Taylor. There are 13 players who bear that name.
Yeah, there's 3 Taylors in Kasson-Mantorville. Taylor Wibke, Taylor Miller, and Taylor Bush.
And that is the individual record for the among the state tournament participants. And there is Haley Bush with the pass from Miller. And Corey Kennedy gets the ball in motion. Braun to Bush.
Another back row attack for Bush.
And the Fergus Falls Otters, at least on that play, were bushwhacked.
Corey Kennedy serving.
Rasmussen to Monkey. That goes backwards and off the antenna. Or actually off the net. 4 touches was the call. And it's a 1-point margin. Kind of snuck up on us. But it's a close one now, and we might have ourselves a thrilling match, and we do.
Kill down the middle for Taylor Miller.
Taylor Miller with the swat, and we're tied at 21. The Comets, who seemed out of sorts up until this point, have worked their way out of this deficit.
They have tied the game.
They were trailing by 6 not too long ago, and they take their first lead off the serve. Timeout, Fergus Falls. A 9-2 run for the Comets, and what have you seen, Chase, in this run for the Comets?
Fergus Falls has really started to clam up and make mistakes, and now Kasson-Mantorville's taking advantage of it, and they've cut down on their mistakes as well.
And Haley Bush, I would say, a big factor in this run.
Haley Bush has been outstanding in this set.
All right, Fergus Falls facing a little adversity here. We've seen that happen against Belle Plaine, and we knew how topsy-turvy that was. How do they settle down?
They just have to calm down and make sure on their swings they put them in the court.
And how does Kasson-Mantorville close out this set?
Kasson-Mantorville's just got to keep doing what they're doing, and Haley Bush is on fire. They should keep feeding the beast.
Which beast are you talking about? You've got Bush, Brooklyn Lewis, who actually is, well, off the bench right now, so I guess it's going to be Bush by design. Rasmussen to Treiser. That's in.
Right on the corner.
Couldn't get much closer. (22-22). And we have an old Caledonia viewer tuning in, Carson Caulfield. He led the Caledonia Brigade last year when I called the 2A championship between Marshall and Caledonia, and I think by the end of the tournament, I had the entire city of Caledonia following me. Well, he was the instigator of that, so I have to give him credit for it. Haley Bush, they get the deflection, and that's why they were celebrating. 23-22. We've had straight set matches throughout Championship Saturday. Kasson-Mantorville looking to end that trend.
Gausted from the outside.
That was deflected, but good positioning. Taylor Miller, though, has to go behind the back. Free ball for the Otters. And Gausted with the 2-touch possession. Big point here. Devani Smith to serve. Braun to Lewis from behind.
And that will go out of bounds.
And that will allow Lewis to rotate up front. With set point for the Comets, and the students in attendance here from Kasson-Mantorville are eager to see this evened up at 1 set apiece. Lewis from the back row, that's saved, but a free ball coming.
Nice reach back by Corey Kennedy.
And Lewis was equally proficient there. Up at the net, oh my goodness. Lewis in position. Harworth with the save. Teardrop, that doesn't go. Smith will settle things down. Rasmussen to Gaustad, out of bounds. And we're even up at 1 set apiece. 23-25. No!
Someone from Kasson-Mantorville was in the net.
It was overruled. The official signaled the point. Everybody thought it was Kasson-Mantorville who tied this up, and the ruling was overturned.
Now Fergus Falls has tied the set.
I have no explanation for that. I couldn't see it, but that's why the officials are down there. This adds to the drama, of course. And Lewis will give Kasson-Mantorville the lead back.
That's that hard swing we've been waiting for from Brooklyn Lewis.
Well, we've seen her pull off that move a few times. And again, right-handed hitters coming from the left, and especially from that passing from Lily Braun. So they'll get set point again. Rasmussen, teardrop. Bush couldn't get there in time.
Gausted back to serve.
This reminds you of that drama you faced last year with Sauk Center in New Richland?
A little bit.
Braun to Lewis this time. It's read perfectly. Blocked. Good save by Gaustad. Treiser, got it!
Finds the line.
And Fergus Falls was set point. Remember, Kasson-Mantorville thought they had the set locked up, and they'll use their final timeout here, 26-25. They thought they had the last set locked up, and it was ruled that way, but then it was overturned on a net touch, and Fergus Falls has a chance to take the second set. And how emotional is this right now? I'm sure for Kasson-Mantorville, they feel robbed over that ruling.
Maybe a little bit, but you just gotta fight through it and just keep going. In games like this that go past 25, they just have to stay on their toes and be ready for anything. These games are close. They're so much fun to win, but they really do suck to lose.
What are the odds that we see 40-38 like we did yesterday between Rochester, Mayo, and Grand Rapids?
I don't know. These teams are pretty tough, and neither of them look like they want to give this up.
That's what we had yesterday, the 40-38, which is still the record for the longest set at this tournament. You have to win by 2, of course, so we keep playing until that margin is reached. Fergus Falls trying to get there now. Miller will set up to Lewis. And we're tied at 26. Wait a minute. The scoreboard reads 27-26? They gave the Comets a point? No, okay, it is.
They changed it. They changed it. They fixed it.
As if this wasn't dramatic enough.
Outside to Lewis. Oh, Gaustad gets a hand on it.
But Fergus Falls can't recover in time. And now it's 27-26. The scoreboard operator, they had a foreboding that turned out to be correct. They can see the future. I'm calling them up for lottery tickets. Rasmussen, that's going to be a free ball for Kasson-Mantorville, and Lewis is on fire right now.
Here comes Lewis.
Look out! Smith was there for the save, but they'll get another chance. Same play. Gaustad again. And another Comets free ball. They're not giving up. No, they go right this time.
Haley Bush gets the kill for the win.
And they pull off the fake. The setup looked like it was going to Lewis, and she went that way. Miller goes behind the back to Bush, and we are officially knotted up. No overruling this time. 28-26 is the final, and we are even at one set apiece. And I'm glad we have this intermission because I got to catch my breath. How about that run by Kasson-Mantorville?
Oh, my goodness. I never thought it was going to end.
It did end, but that 7-2 run by the Comets was pivotal. They were down by about 6 or so, and I'm thinking this is going to be a straight set victory for Fergus Falls, and Lewis all of a sudden woke up, and you saw that last play. I think because Lewis was so successful, Fergus Falls was cheating in her direction, forgot that Bush was on the right side.
Yeah.
And speaking of multi-sport athletes with Carson Caulfield tuning in from Caledonia. They had one as well who was an all-star in the Class 2A field last year. Taylor Windjam played both on the volleyball team and the basketball team, and of course got a chance to play here at Xcel Energy Center. Wanted to get that in there. Another example of the advantages that playing in multiple sports offers. But getting back to this one, Chase, if you can probe the minds of the two teams, how do they approach set number 3?
This one, just like the other one, someone's going to come out on top first, and once you do that, it's really about don't make mistakes and try to execute. And what both teams really have to do is converting. When one team makes a mistake, they really have to use that. If one team misses a serve and you get the serve, that doesn't mean, okay, I'm gonna go, oh man, I missed the serve. No, it means you go after it. You use that. You use their mistakes and you feed off of their mishaps.
And both teams taking this very seriously. Still a minute left in the intermission, and neither group has left their huddle yet. Sometimes you'll see intermissions wrap up more quickly. I think they understand the gravity and the dire imperative to take this third set. Again, a bronze medal on the line. Well, the Comets, for the believers of momentum, they have it right now after that big run and holding off that overturned call. Again, they thought they had the set won in standard play, did not, and needed a few extra points, but they did pull it out.
Yeah, they came back and proved that even if they didn't get that point, they deserved to win that game.
I'm not in a position to disagree. And obviously, it's going to be important that they keep feeding Lewis
and Haley
Bush. And with the rotation they have, where Lily Braun is at the center, and then you've got Lewis and Bush on the sides, you see the options it opens up for Kasson-Mantorville. And Fergus Falls, well, there's Rasmussen serving, so you know that means Anna Monkey is going to be blocking up the middle.
Here comes the free ball from Lily Braun. Middle to Anna Monkey. Oh, and it is blocked.
Treiser with the tip, no. Bush. Got it. Again, Bush liking to attack from the right. Lewis does her damage from the left. In that formation, the Comets are most lethal.
Haley Bush back to serve for the Comets.
Taylor Miller. Gaustad with the dig. Point for Fergus Falls.
The lift from Lily Braun.
Jordan Harworth. Bush again on the right side. Devani Smith with a huge dig. Corey Kennedy elects to play it. And Taylor Miller with the teardrop. You push them back with strength, you beat them with finesse. That's what the Kasson-Mantorville Comets did. And speaking of the big sports weekend,
Lauren Gaustad on the outside, down the line.
as she puts down the kill, the Gopher women's basketball team just picked up their first victory of the year as they opened the season with a 73-55 win over Northern Iowa. And the Gophers football team is about to cement, if they haven't done so already, a victory over Penn State.
Ooh.
I know you'll be rooting against them next year.
I'll be a Hawkeye. Here comes Lewis from the outside.
Rasmussen to Gaustad. That's saved, but another free ball coming for the Otters. Wow!
Smith able to read that. Oh no, that was just on the line. Again, it's hard to see from this angle that we're
It was
at.
a free ball, too, from Lewis. She just had to lob it over defensively. Fergus Falls elected to let that go, thinking it was going out of bounds. And Lewis gets the unscripted kill. Rasmussen to Monkey. Bush from the right gets a favorable bounce from the net, but it stays in play.
Miscommunication, and Devonnie Smith is forced to send a free ball over.
And the Comets swoop down like hawks with that free ball.
Taylor Miller back to serve.
Monkey blocked. Brooklyn Lewis. Maybe you can convince her to join you at Iowa. Favorable
right off
nets.
the touch of the net.
We've said this throughout the week. In the net, an indiscriminate object. It can help you, it can hurt you, and Brooklyn Lewis
Deep out of bounds.
could not get the deflection. It's a gamble, though, with the high velocity swings. Sometimes you put a little too much trajectory on it. Oh, Lewis, that was not the pass she wanted. Rasmussen blocked. She'll get another try, and a two-touch possession. Comets save it.
Corey Kennedy was able to get that up.
But here comes Gaustad into the net.
Fergus Falls seems to be slipping apart a little bit. They need to pull it together if they want to get back in this game.
Are they still stinging from that second set? They had set point and couldn't close out.
Yeah, I'd be a little frustrated after that too, but they'll be fine.
And the pass went nowhere, and Lewis tried to save it but could not get it over the net within the three-touch limit. Haley Bush from the left. That's where Lewis likes to usually go, but right now that's not where their rotation is.
Outside to Trizer.
And
Corey Kennedy makes another save.
Kennedy has been very impressive on defense. Rasmussen with the lob in the corner. Gaustad. Kennedy has to go low. Bush from the left. Monkey to Rasmussen down the middle, off of Kennedy, and she gets decked.
Right in the face of Corey Kennedy.
But she gets back up, and she's ready for another. Although that's up at the net.
Oh, but they saved. Oh.
Not for long. It goes past press row. Kennedy might have a shiner after this. She went backwards in a hurry. Had to actually landed on her rear end there. That was a tough hit from Rasmussen. Gaustad, that was deflected. Rasmussen down the middle. And Braun couldn't stop it in time. New player in for Fergus Falls, at least someone we haven't seen too much of. That's number 13. We'll try to get a name for you in a moment, but she was back to serve.
Nice save by Fergus Falls there. Back to Kaylee Bush on the right side. Oh, and huge block way out of bounds.
That was going all the way to Minneapolis, I think. McKenna Cavern, and she will rotate out. So that was a specialty substitution there. McKenna Cavern was the number 13 jersey wearer for the Fergus Falls Otters, and there's a teardrop. That doesn't work. Bush from the right. Comets up 8-6.
Free ball over. That was a low one, hard to get to.
Monkey to Trizer.
Oh, and Fergus Falls is called in the net. I think that was number 9, Christian Trizer. Point goes to Kasson-Mantorville.
as Treiser was leaping up to prepare for a block. She made contact with the net. That's a no-no. Corey Kennedy serves it out of bounds.
I think that is her second or third service error this game.
And Southwest Christian just won in straight sets to take their first state tournament title in school history. They finished second last year to Bethlehem Academy. And congratulations to the Stars. I had the pleasure of covering the first 2 rounds of their bracket.
An outside kill by Christian Treiser.
Of course, we're here at Court 2 where the 2A bracket will be complete. We have a championship over here to call between Marshall and Hill Murray. That will take place at about 3. But congratulations to a first-time champion in Southwest Christian. Always fun to see the schools get first-time trophies, and Rasmussen pulling off a move similar to what Lily Braun does.
Yeah, a little dump in the middle. Middle. Oh, blocked by Monkey. Another block by Monkey.
And it stays in bounds. Back-to-back blocks, and Fergus Falls takes the lead. Rasmussen serving, so you know Monkey will be up the middle. Gets the block there. And the Comets get the response. That's Haley Bush.
Devani Smith was not able to keep that
And Haley Bush was able to slide over to her favorable position over right. We're tied at 10. Bush has to serve now. Gaustad from deep. Braun to Bush. And that goes off of Smith and past the Fergus Falls bench.
Wow.
And that's a nice setup there. Usually when a player's back to serve, in the case of Bush, you know, she can't go up to the front row, and so you wonder how that's going to play out. Well, she can attack from deep, but then she serves it into her own net.
Another service error by Kasson-Mantorville. Back to serve, another 7, Jordan Harworth.
And she gets it off of number 1, Sarah Peterson. And Fergus Falls reassumes the lead.
And there's the serve. Here comes Haley Braun.
Bush.
Bush.
That goes out of bounds. Using the off speed to success that time.
All these names are getting me confused with Bush, Braun, and Taylor. Gaustad from the outside.
Brooklyn Lewis. Well, that's going to be a point for Fergus Falls. Looks like somebody in the net. Going to say, well, have you had any mix-ups with your name? Because yours is indeterminate as far as gender.
Yeah, but my last name gets confused sometimes. They call me Chase Coley.
Coley, huh?
Yeah, and the girls on the volleyball team for fun call me Chas Coley.
Well, as long as they don't get your names mixed up and they call you Coley Chase, right?
Yeah.
Devani Smith had a service error on the last point for the Otters. I've had my name mispronounced a few times. No mispronunciations for Monkey, though. Her blocking game certainly not mispronounced at all.
No, not at all. Anna Monkey stayed at the net.
But she goes back to the bench for now.
Kasson-Mantorville.
Again, with the rotation, every time you get the side out, players shift over.
Yeah, Kasson-Mantorville gets a little break from Monkey's big blocking in the middle, but now they have to deal with Rasmussen.
Point for Fergus Falls. I believe that hit the antenna, and the officials concur. Gaustad. Kennedy with the dig. Here's Lewis from the left. That's her sweet spot. And it's a sweet point for the Comets. And it's a final at TCF Bank Stadium for you Gophers football fans. They defeat Penn State 24-10. Back to action here. Gaustad's attack was picked up by Braun, I believe. And who was that?
I didn't see who that was.
Whoever it was, we're tied at 15.
That went off the block, and Fergus Falls was not able to retrieve it.
Braun. Low pass, but it goes deep. Comets will set up to Bush down right. Too strong.
Hitting error by Haley Bush.
And Haley Bush has had that happen occasionally, as we talked about. The high velocity serves are more prone to sailing out of bounds like that, and that's been the issue for Haley Bush in this tournament. Bush is blocked up at the net, but it was too close for Fergus Falls to respond. Now you're going to get Lewis on the teardrop. Monkey picks it up, and Rasmussen with a heads-up play. That was a short dig, and Rasmussen won the jump ball.
Just like she does in basketball. There's Gaustad with the serve. Here comes Haley Bush from the outside.
That was close into the net, but still in play, not for long. Well-placed hit by Haley Bush, and Gaustad couldn't get under there.
Christian Treiser forced to free ball it over.
And it's Taylor Wibke who makes the most of it. You saw Treiser hold up for a moment, was ready to take a swing, but didn't like her position. So, like you said, had to lob it. And Wibke gets the free ball to go in the Comets' favor. Rasmussen down the middle.
Off the block.
It's picked up. Lewis.
Here comes Lewis from the back row. Put up by Anna Monkey. Here comes Treiser.
That's going to be too strong.
Line judge even had to jump out of the way on that one.
Whether or not you agree with them, you have to give credit to the officials willing to risk the health of their own bodies to officiate the match. Rasmussen, off speed, no. Treiser, yep, that is Treiser, who got the block and gets the drop shot down. McKenna Cavern back to serve for the Otters. Haley Bush, that was from outside the lane she usually likes to pursue. Now she's going to pass over to Lewis. And it's rejected by Rasmussen.
Block in the middle by Brianna Rasmussen. If Monkey's not in there, up front blocking, Brianna Rasmussen is. And I tell you, they're taking up the whole net.
19-18, a tight third set. And it's been back and forth after the first set that was dominated by Fergus Falls. Braun will sit up to Bush behind the back. And it hit the antenna. Timeout. Kasson-Mantorville, their first of the third set. 20-18 the margin, and I know you're having some trouble hearing with the public address announcer over at Court 1, Chase, but what's going to be the key here in this final stretch of set 3?
Whoever comes out on top, like we've been saying the whole time, you got to cut down on these mistakes. There's been a lot of hitting errors and a few service errors and a few of the double contacts, but both teams are being very scrappy. I know when the ball gets hit into the net, it's very hard to pull it out and have someone be ready to push it over, but both teams have been able to get it out of the net. Whoever can get it over, they're going to have more success right now. Just both teams need to stay on their toes and be ready for anything. Both teams have big hitters. We've got Brianna Rasmussen and Anna Monkey hitting in the middle and blocking in the middle. Haley Bush got an arm behind her, and as we've seen from Brooklyn Lewis, she knows how to put it away. So whoever steps up first, I think whoever steps up first and puts the most pressure on right now is going to take this third set.
And what has led to this back and forth duel in these last 2 sets?
Just overall, both of the teams, they've been pretty consistent, but there's always been one player that outshines the rest.
Brianna Rasmussen with another heads-up play on defense. Bush off of McKenna Cavern, and that's going to go all the way to court 1.
Off into the crowd. I hope they give the ball back.
Oh, they're going to get the ball back. They're still waiting for it. There it is. What would have been hilarious is if that ball bounced off and it bounced into the Southwest Christian team and it knocked the trophy over.
Oh, that would have been sad. Tries it from the
It would have
middle.
been funny for everybody else, but yes, it would have been sad.
Point goes to Kasson-Mantorville for 4 hits. That last one, I guess, didn't get blocked. And
It was the net that blocked it.
but as we've been saying, the net doesn't get credit for blocks.
No, and as we said, it's an equal opportunity offender and helper.
Big
And
right side kill for Brianna Rasmussen.
Rasmussen is not so equal in her duties. 22-20. Rasmussen serving. Keep an eye on Monkey, who's going to be in the middle. Bush blocked, but out of bounds.
It's a 1-point game. Fergus Falls is up. Bush back to serve.
Will we see extra points like we did in the last set? We're closing in on that possibility. Bush has had a couple of serving errors, though, and she adds another one.
This is not the time for service errors.
23-21. Rasmussen goes to the back row. Jordan Harworth goes to serve. Braun to Bush. Outside. Fergus Falls with 3 set points. They had set points in that very strange second set when a kill was overturned by a net touch. Kasson-Mantorville will use up their final timeout of the second set. They do not carry over, of course. Obviously, the Comets need at least 3 points. They would like to get 5. What's going to be the key on this next play?
I think they really need to get a good pass, a good set, and a good kill. They have to get a side out right away in order to take this game.
Well, that much is certain. If you don't get a side out, we're going to a 4th set, and you're down 2-1. Bush is in the back row. So do you try to go to a deep attack, or do you try to go to one of your front hitters, or does Lily Braun try that fake that we've seen in the last couple of games with the 2-touch possession and the 2-handed drop shot?
Well, I think Haley Bush has been really successful with her back row hitting, and she's gotten a couple kills off of it. I think they can keep going to Haley Bush if they really want to do, but they also have Brooklyn Lewis, so Fergus Falls really has to watch out for her.
Lewis also in the back row. Taylor Miller retrieved, and Gaustad is blocked up at the net. Braun, 2-handed touch. There's the fake.
I guess you were right. That was working. That's
And
been working for her.
that allows Lewis to rotate up front. Lily Braun, though, will sub out. Amber Glawy, number 11, is going to come in. So this is interesting. Again, Fergus Falls still on set
Monkey
points.
In the middle. Off the block and inbounds. Fergus Falls takes the third set.
Throw all that strategy out the window. Fergus Falls wins 25-22, and they are one set away from getting a bronze medal draped across their neck. Well, I guess we saw a little bit of both. We saw the fake, but having to just take out Lily Braun, it's tough to say that would have changed the situation for Kasson-Mantorville, but Fergus Falls got that blessing.
Fergus Falls put it away. Went to one of their big middle hitters, Anna Monkey.
All right. We know it's at stake, obviously, for both teams. What's the approach here to set number 4?
Like we've been saying the whole time, whoever gets out on top first, because as we've seen, Fergus Falls jumped out on top this last game and they pulled it away. They did it in the other game, but Kasson-Mantorville started to come back.
Can I put your voice on repeat? Maybe you can record some dialogue early and then we'll just program it. I've got my voice recorder. For the Comets, though, I think we know it's going to come down to, at this point, Bush and Lewis. We've seen a few other plays, but everyone else has been relatively quiet. Whipkey has come in a couple of times. We haven't heard much out of Taylor Miller. The trio of Braun, Lewis, and Bush, I think, is going to be the strategy from here on out for the Comets.
Yeah, it's really been working for them so far. They couldn't quite pull it through in that last game, but it showed in the second set that they really pulled through, and they deserved that win.
So quickly again, if you want to order a DVD copy of this and all of our 33 tournament matches, just click the purchase DVD link on the Prep 45 page. And once more, if you wish to communicate with us on Twitter, just send us a note at The Sports Brain. We've had a few folks tune in throughout the day. And join us next week with state tournament football. We'll have live semifinal coverage for you. Just $5 a day gets you unlimited access to every class, every game on prep45.com. And in 3 weeks from now, the Prep Bowl Finals will be held for the final time at the Metrodome. Channel 45 will have the television coverage. Prep45.com is your place for live simulcast coverage. Prep 45 is your official home of the Minnesota State High School League tournaments. Your school plays here. And Chase, we were speaking about Kasson-Mantorville. Fergus Falls seems to have more diversity, more options available in their attack. Do you think that's going to help them in this fourth set?
That is really going to help them in that fourth set because Kasson-Mantorville has to key into different. They don't have the ability to key in on different players. They have to watch everybody because everyone for Fergus Falls lately has been a big threat.
And we've highlighted the passing and attacking abilities of Brianna Rasmussen. Again, going, excuse me. Must have been that spinach. Going to North Dakota State next year.
She's going for volleyball, and Anna Monkey's going to
basketball at Minnesota Duluth.
Yeah. As Christian tries it from the outside as Lily Braun's not able to keep that second ball up.
And she jammed up Kennedy, I believe, on that dig. Here's Braun to Miller. That doesn't work. Bush from the right. Bush. And that pays off.
Into the block and out of bounds.
That's going to be the key. Bush back to serve, though, so she's going to have to attack from the back row. And Brooklyn Lewis is to the left. Well, that's one way of making the most of your back row time. Have you noticed anything with the formations? As far as we know, Fergus Falls seems to run that 6-2, and what have you seen out of Kasson-Mantorville? Is that having any sway in this?
A little bit. like we said, Fergus Falls has a lot of weapons over there, as we've seen Christian Treiser and Laura Gauss that have really been taking in from the outside. Anna Monkey and Brianna Rasmussen have been clogging up the middle, and their libero, Devani Smith, has been getting everything up, and along with Jordan Harworth has had a big role in the back row.
The two-touch fake that Lily Braun executes so well. Another example. Comets up 3-2.
Gausted from the outside. And here comes Lewis.
Off the pass from Braun.
She's able to put that one away. Peterson with the serve. Goes right side to Anna Monkey. And she's able to put that one down.
Monkey prefers the middle slot, and she will rotate out for the moment as Grosbeck takes the service position.
Here comes Lewis.
Harworth was ready. Grosbeck to Gaustad. Gaustad has had a few plays, but Miller interferes with that one, and it falls for a Comets point. And now Monkey will rotate back as the Comets get the side out. And you see that frequently with players that don't have strong service games when they get to that right hitting position and the next rotation.
Brianna Rasmussen with the hitting error.
You'll see that defensive substitution or serving substitution, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then when they rotate back, in this case, Monkey got put back in as soon as Fergus Falls had to turn it over. Brooklyn Lewis.
She is on fire this game. No one's been able to stop her.
As Dan Patrick would say, Lewis is en fuego. That's the Spanish translation.
For on fire.
And the Comets streaking to a 7-3 start here in the fourth set. Again, with Lewis able to stay up front when she's in that rotation, that is the strength for Kasson-Mantorville. When they have to go back, as they occasionally do, that's where Fergus Falls seems to find more of their opportunities on offense.
Yeah. Fergus Falls, like we've been saying, have a bunch of very versatile players on their team, and they're really, right now they're starting to not fall apart, but they don't have an answer to Lewis right now. Brooklyn Lewis has just been on fire from the outside, and Lily Braun has been seeming to find her very well. And if she doesn't find her, she's got Haley Bush, and if she doesn't have Haley Bush, she's got her little tip in the middle.
She's got the fake.
Yeah.
And no matter how many times she's pulled it off, Fergus Falls has not respected that move. Monkey. Ooh, that pass is off target and into the net. That's a mistake we haven't seen much of out of Fergus Falls, but Comets will take it. They go up by 5. Rasmussen. Bush was ready for it. Here is Lewis from the back row. Smith with the dig.
Rasmussen having to free ball it over.
Wow, there's a passing version of that fake move. It was Braun over to Taylor Whipkey, and she puts down the lob. I guess Braun can pull off that move with an accomplice. Hitting error.
So.
Rasmussen sends that one wide, and Kasson-Mantorville up by 7. We could have our first 5-setter of this match. Of course, we don't have too many matches left. We have a third place game in 3A and the championship in 2 classes to decide, and that's
Brianna
it.
Rasmussen just murders that ball. Here comes Treiser back in.
The casualty report will increase by 1 tonight.
Here comes Lewis.
Off the pass from Lewis, but Brianna Rasmussen was ready. Lewis tried to go off speed that time, and I think that allowed Rasmussen to deflect it back in Kasson-Mantorville territory. So they'll try again. This time, Lewis goes full strength and serves or hits out of bounds.
Lewis not able to do anything with the last two.
And that doesn't happen too often. This time she goes to Bush deep. It's Rasmussen, teardrop. That stays in play, a diving save.
Pancaked by number 1.
Sarah Peterson.
I'm the bottom.
And Treiser hits it into the net. That diving save from Peterson manifests in a Comets point. And that was at the last possible moment. I thought it was dropping for a Fergus Falls score. Rasmussen couldn't get under it.
And a lift on Fergus Falls.
And must have lifted while trying to catch up with the ball. Comets up by 6. Make it 7. No, it was ruled a deflection.
Fergus Falls looked like they were... Oh, they got the point.
It looked out of bounds, but the officials said it was touched by a Kasson-Mantorville player.
Brianna Rasmussen with the block, but able to keep it up. Back to Kasson-Mantorville. Here comes Kaylee Bush from the outside.
Hit deep, and Fergus Falls just has to bat it away. Lewis, here she comes. There she goes.
Full strength, right down the middle.
New player in for the Otters. It's number 11. We'll see. We'll get a name for you in a moment. Was in at least for that moment was Jordan Heinen. You don't see too much of her.
Lewis back to serve.
Another chance for an attack here. It's Bush to Lewis, but Lewis couldn't quite get the velocity. Lewis with the dig.
Here comes Bush.
And
nice
Devani
pass
Smith.
by Devani Smith.
Treiser, no, over the net.
But gets the second chance at a tip.
And out of bounds it goes.
Here comes Anna Monkey back in the game. Brianna Rasmussen back to serve.
Again, she'll rotate in and out when it's her turn to serve. But with Rasmussen going in, you know they'll put Monkey up front, as that combination has worked well periodically.
Second chance, but blocked by Anna Monkey.
And there's why. You have a powerful server and just an all-around talent in Brianna Rasmussen, and the blocking abilities of Anna Monkey up front make for a very good complement. Inside the line.
Nice service ace for Brianna Rasmussen.
And the Comets will have to fold on that point. They're going to call timeout. They still lead by 3, but Fergus Falls on the run. 13-10 is our score. Fergus Falls, as we mentioned, moved up to Section 3A, or Class 3A for the last couple of years, as schools usually shift up and down, sometimes at the discretion of the coaches, other times at the discretion of enrollment requirements, but could not get past Bemidji in those last 2 years in Section to qualify for the state tournament. This year, able to break through, and that can be so hard for teams. And you kind of understand that to a degree, going at a school where you get to the section playoffs, but you don't go to state for so long that sometimes mentally you start having doubts.
Yeah, sometimes you might clam up a little bit or get nervous, but I know for basketball we really fought through and worked really hard.
Fergus Falls with 8 seniors. 4 of them have started on this group for the last 3 years.
And that was Taylor Wibke with the hit in the middle. And here comes Treiser, but it's unsuccessful.
Bush was on the block there.
Here comes Bush again, and the kill right down the middle.
Again, Bush, when she's in the right slot, and Lewis is able to hit from the outside left position, although Lewis is stationed in the back row right now. It's when they can get those two up front. Is one of the most deadly. How about that?
Right on the line.
That was Devani Smith,
I think it might have been.
the libero. And she two-hand swaps it to the corner.
It goes back row to Brooklyn Lewis.
The back row attack unsuccessful. Gaustad lobs it. Saved by Peterson. Bush blocked.
Big block in the middle again by Anna Monkey. You can't get past her.
And I thought you had blocking skills.
I did too.
Did you pick any up from Monkey there?
Maybe a little bit.
And it's Taylor Miller off the pass from Braun. Miller has been relatively quiet until now. Bush is serving.
Here comes Monkey in the middle. Oh, with the little tip.
And Bush dives there for the save. Lewis is blocked by Monkey. And the Comets have to bat a free ball over. Fergus Falls with a chance to attack. Oh, Rasmussen tried the two-hand fake.
They caught on that one.
Or the two-touch fake, I should say, but they're not going to catch on to that.
There's Gaustad from the left side right down the line. Corey Kennedy was not able to get that up.
Devani Smith rotates to serve. Fergus Falls slowly reeling in that margin, but Monkey hits that one away.
These last couple rallies have been really good and gone on for a minute or so.
Well, both teams have settled down, and I think you get a sense of just how even they are. I mean, we saw that yesterday with Kasson-Mantorville against Hill Murray. That went the distance. Bush hits that one out of bounds. And while Marshall is the favorite, it is, at least as far as finding out who the second or the third place team is, beyond Marshall, it's a very even keel. And that's not to say Hill Murray can't beat Marshall, but the Tigers have set a very high standard in Class 2A.
That last hit appeared to go out, or appeared to be out, but Devani Smith didn't want to take the chance. Here comes Gaustad from the outside.
Oh, and Braun fakes herself out. Tried that arcing move that we've seen her do, and she didn't get enough air under it. And it hits the nets. It's a 1-point margin now. Bush, that could have gone out, but Devani Smith decides to play it. And Rasmussen will get a point the old-fashioned way. And we're tied at 16. This is a critical point here. Remember, Fergus Falls up 2-1. They take this set, they get bronze. The Comets need to win this to force a fifth. Kate Grosbeck gets it off of Lewis, and Fergus Falls takes their first lead in set 4. The Comets are going to use their final timeout. Comets looking unsettled here. What's been the key to success lately for the Otters?
The Otters have really picked up their intensity and energy. Anna Monkey, just like she was doing in the quarterfinals, getting that big block up there. They're being really scrappy. They're like Devontae Smith in the back, those deep ones, they're not taking chances to see maybe it'll go out, maybe it'll stay in. They're saying, no, we're going to go for it, and then we're going to get the kill because we know we can get that for sure. That's no gamble.
And for Kasson-Mantorville, obviously they've got to find a way to get Bush and Lewis going. Outside of those two, the Comets just don't have many options or answers. But what's their key?
They really just have to pull it together. They've been making little mistakes right here, like things like that. Oh, see, there's one of them. They gotta stop doing that.
And that was a deep serve, and Kasson-Mantorville could not play that properly. And this time, Devontae Smith does let it go.
But that free ball that Bush just had, that doesn't need to go that far.
Lewis was blocked, but it goes to the Fergus Falls side. 18-17, another tight set. This game has stretched out and in ever since the first set.
Rasmussen pushes it off the block.
And Wibke, I think, got a hand on it, but it was when she was coming down from her jump, and so she couldn't backtrack in time. Nor did she really have the angle on it to block it back to the Fergus Falls side.
No, not much she could do with that one. Here comes Lewis. And a kill right down the middle.
Finding the hole between Gaustad and Devontae Smith. And we're still within one. Rasmussen, that's inside the line. And the Comets are out of timeouts. Fergus Falls has one left in the fourth set. The goal is 25. Oh, Brianna Rasmussen. No, actually that was McKenna Cavern. Again, brought in as a service substitution, but like you said, still an inopportune time at this point. Treiser is rejected. Rasmussen gets a deflection there that allows
with the big block in the middle.
That allowed Braun a chance to set up, but Rasmussen wasn't going to let any setup get in her way.
Rasmussen now back to serve. And a monkey middle front. Off the hand of Brooklyn Lewis.
And that gives Fergus Falls the point. And that last play, Kasson-Mantorville really wasn't comfortable with that offensive scheme. Bush.
With the back row attack.
And that's something they're more comfortable with.
Oh, no, excuse me, that was a front row attack.
Right now, Lewis in the back row, Bush on the right hitting position.
Tries her with the right side hit.
Smith with the deflection, but Fergus Falls is going to have to bat it away. Miller is blocked, but it goes off her fist. Lewis tries the fake. And it worked.
Devontae Smith almost got that one over. Just barely missed.
Almost, but again, that comes from Braun, so you probably anticipate a two-possession play out of her, but something out of Brooklyn Lewis. There's a back row hit.
Here comes Anna Monkey in the middle. And that is a kill.
(23-21). Comets out of timeouts. Fergus Falls 2 points away from clinching bronze. Bush out of bounds.
Oh,
but the deflection.
Saw that back line judge see that.
But Bush has to go back to serve, and she's had some trouble. Smith plays it though. Monkey.
Off the block and out of bounds. Point goes to Fergus Falls.
And they have 2 match points. 1 point away from bronze.
Kasson-Mantorville can still do this. They just got to pull through for these next few points.
Gaustad, that's picked up. Lewis, that was a back row, and it goes back to her on the dig. And once again, the fake. We saw this in the 3rd set.
Lily Braun has got that down.
It's the same move, too. It's using the left-handed lob shot. And every time when the Comets are on the brink, it gives them at least a little momentum, but they're still down a point. Fergus Falls could still win this.
As Brooklyn Lewis moves into the front row, Fergus Falls better watch out for her.
But Sarah Peterson has to make sure her serve is clean. And it is. Gaustad blocked, out of bounds! Bronze goes to Fergus Falls.
Oh, what a great play.
I don't think anybody was expecting Laura Gaustad to come with the match-winning shot.
But it was a very hard-fought win. Good game by both teams. They both worked very hard.
And how about the resolve of Fergus Falls? They were within a point of taking this in straight sets and got a gift from an overturned call that would have given Kasson-Mantorville the set. They ended up winning that 2nd set. Not a problem. They win this 3-1. How exciting was that, Chase?
That was very exciting. All games were very close.
25-15, 28-26, 25-22, and 25-23. That is your line score for Fergus Falls. Kasson-Mantorville won that 2nd set, 28-26, we should point out. And Fergus Falls, in their first trip to the state tournament, will get a bronze medal to take home. Kasson-Mantorville will have to settle for 4th place.
Very exciting for the senior Brianna Rasmussen going to play next year.
And Anna Monkey as well. A great way for those 2 seniors to end their volleyball career, making their first trip together.
Yes, along with Laura Gaustad and Christian Treiser.
Let's go to the public address announcer for the award presentation.
The ceremony is about to begin. It will be conducted by representatives of the Board of Directors, John Heyman from Underwood, Scott McCready from St. Charles, and Steve Heckland from Braham. They will be assisted by Jody Redmond, Associate Director of the Minnesota State High School League. 4th place, with the captains of the Kasson-Mantorville girls volleyball team, please come forward to receive your 4th place tournament trophy. Congratulations to the Kasson-Mantorville girls volleyball team. In 3rd place, bronze medals in the Class 2A 3rd place trophy will be awarded to Fergus Falls. Medals will now be presented to each member of the team. Please step forward as your name is called. Number 1, Brianna Rasmussen. Number 4, Devaney Smith. Number 5, Kate Grosbeck. Number 6, Amber Bays. Number 7, Jordan Harworth. Number 8, Laura Gostad. Number 9, Kristen Trazer. Number 10, Anna Monkey. Number 11, Jordan Heinen. Number 13, McKenna Cavern. Number 14, Ashley Reinertson. Number 15, Brooklyn Sealand. And number 16, Brooke Johnson. Student manager, Shelby Danielson. Assistant coach, Denny Heisted. Assistant coach, Tanya Court. And head coach for the Fergus Falls Otters, Renee Erickson. And now, will the captains of the Fergus Falls girls volleyball team please come forward to receive your Class 2A third place trophy. Congratulations.
Chase, what an effort by Fergus Falls. Oh, 3 close sets after they got out ahead in that first one, but they had a little more, and I think, as you alluded to, that balance in their offense, especially from Rasmussen, who could pass and attack, overcame the two-pronged monster at Kasson-Mantorville.
Yeah, they really stepped up, and they really deserved to win that. They worked so hard, and for their first year being in this, that was a great effort by Fergus Falls.
And for the Comets, it was their first tournament in 9 years. How do they use this experience moving forward? Obviously, they're going to lose a talented senior duo there in Brooklyn Lewis and Haley Bush, but how do they use this to move forward?
They really need to, they have to have some other players really step up and take the places of them, because as you saw in that last game, those were their 2 go-to girls. I think everyone on the team is now going to step up and really play a new role on this team.
But they're going to have a strong setup person in Lily Braun as you see the teams do their customary pictures. And
yeah, she's only a sophomore, so they have her for 2 more years.
Any final thoughts on this match?
Both teams played great, and in the end, the best team came out on top.
So in about 25 minutes, we will have Hill Murray and Marshall play for the 2A championship. Marshall looking to take their 3rd consecutive state tournament title in Class 2A. And Hill Murray looking to complete a first-time appearance with the gold medal. Stay tuned for that. And of course, if you want a DVD copy of this match and any of our matches, just click the purchase DVD link on the Prep 45 screen. For Chase Coley, I'm Mike Peden. Thank you for watching the 3rd place game in Class 2A. We have one more match to present to you from Court 2. It's the 2A championship. We'll see you in about 30 minutes.